That is the sound of the jar of names. We should get out a name. I've got one. So this podcast is for everyone, including but not excluded to Miss Natalil. Right, so welcome to A Cup of Tea and a Podcast. Here is the cup of tea. And this is the podcast. Right, and so if you want to head down to the comment section, you'll either find my skip list or another person's skip list, Max Ravage. You can skip to this week's update, this week's topic, this week's question, and this week's calls. But we'll start with update this week then. So I was supposed to get out a Cup of Adventure video before this podcast went out, but unfortunately I was editing it together, and part of my sort of like making my videos better scheme, if I'm not feeling it, if I don't think it's good enough, I won't make it, and I'll just redo it. So unfortunately I was making the video that I wanted to put out before this, and there was a few focusing issues, and yeah, I decided that it wasn't quite up to snuff, so I wanted to. So in order to increase its quality, I've pushed it to after 2 more videos. Well, maybe, yeah. I'll basically be doing it a different day, possibly Monday, but there'll be another Cup of Adventure out before that one. But yeah, I've just moved it around because I wasn't feeling it. So I want to make them good. I don't want to make them for the sake of it. I want to make them good. So I've just moved it across. And apart from that, this week's videos are a bit messed up as well because of that. Because obviously I didn't want to do the podcast until I was on the Cup of Adventure video, and then wasn't doing the Cup of Adventure video until this sort of time, and then I decided not to. So obviously I haven't done the podcast, but now I have. But now there's only a few days left of the week to do videos on, so yeah, everything got moved. But what did they get moved to? We're about to find out now in topic. So this week's videos that we're going to be having before the next podcast is obviously a few days, so a little bit different. So there's going to be 2 Dark Chronicle videos straight up after this podcast, maybe a few hours difference. But there's going to be one called Stargate and one called Geostone. Yes, and then there's also going to be a Yonder video out on the Saturday. Not sure what it's going to be called yet. And there's also going to be a Fable 2 video out on the Sunday, and then we'll have the podcast out on Monday and continue from there. So obviously I've taken away 2 Dark Chronicle videos this week just so we're not having a big push of content, which is, the new scheme that we're doing, which I think is good. Anyway, as for hints for videos, last week's hint was one of the events that happened last month. Obviously that's going to carry on until next podcast, but this week's hint for the video that's going to be out next on Cup of Adventure, the hint is it's the 13th one. I'll let you discuss that and see if you can find out what the video is going to be. Of course you'll only find out in a few hours time though. Cool, so now we're going to go on to the community section, and we're going to go on to Mention Monday. So these are the people that commented on the last week's videos. There was only 3, so not many, but I've got quite a few names. So this week we thank Max Ravage, Overlord Master, Horia, Captain RH, Bernard Termere, and Eli Gannon. So yeah, thank you all for commenting. Nice to see some of you people back, and hope everyone had a nice holiday. I know one person in particular did, so hopefully you had a nice time. Right, Q&A now then. So we've got 2 questions this week. One's from Max Ravage, who says, "How are you doing?" I'm doing fine, thank you. Just trying to catch up with everything. Insanely hard because there's so much to do, and I get, I do things, then I do other things, and then those things fall behind, and it's just a nightmare. But hopefully we're going to get caught up soon. I feel like we are, because I'm in the mood to do stuff. Right, and the other question you had was, who is your favourite Doctor? I assume you mean Doctor Who. My favourite will have to be David Tennant, because he's just the best one. Always will be. Even though I don't mind about the new female Doctor Who. I believe it's a good step forward, even though a lot of people do not think it is good. And then Captain RH says, here's a question for you. Do you do any sports or exercise? I don't do any sports, but I do go for some running. I've been running tonight. And if you keep checking out my vlogs on Cup of Adventure, eventually you'll see one where I do actually go for a run. I take you with me as well. But that's obviously behind, so I need to catch up with those as well. But yeah, these are things just happening. Okay, right, so now we're going to go on to subscribers. So last week's podcast we were at 1,400. This week we've gone up 7 names to 1,407. And we welcome 3 new names to the community. We welcome Wesker432, Sword Mankin, and Ben McCurry. So thank you for joining the community. If you do any sports or exercise, please let me know, because Captain RH is dying to know. Right, so question now. So last week's question was, What do you think of the Yonder series? And we've got some comments. We've got quite a few more than this, but these are the people that actually said what they thought about the game. Horia said he has heard about the game. It is a combination of farming simulator and free exploration scavenger hunt. A very bad one, since these two don't mix. One requires you to stay in one place and the other to run around the place. I disagree. There is a particular game called Rune Factory where you get to go like dungeon crawling and you also get to grow crops and stuff. And the way they do it, I think, is very well executed. So I disagree with that. Also, I think Yonder is good, so I disagree with that as well. Bernard Tamir says the episodes are a little bit too long, 30 minutes max. It will be more enjoyable, but I do like the game. It is a little bit faster than the other games, in my opinion, or at least you play this game for faster than Fable or Dark Chronicle. Yes, but that's kind of the way I'm trying to play Let's Plays now, trying to do them faster than usual. And then Horia has said again that he hopes I will not do a full Let's Play of this, as he can never watch more than 15 minutes before he gets totally bored. And that is very interesting to see, but we'll talk about that later on in this week's theme. But before we do that, we're going to go on to this week's question, which is, how do you feel about 40-minute videos? Because that was the whole plan about the new videos that I'm doing. I personally really enjoy it, doing the 40 minutes, because it feels like I'm playing something substantial when I'm playing and recording. And I don't know, I like seeing the 40 when I look at the videos. But we'll discuss that later on as well. But that's this week's comment. Let me know what you think. But now we're going to go on to this week's theme. Oh, that's good. We're going straight on to it then. So this week's theme is a very large debate that was going on between Horia and Bernard Tamir about Yonder, about how they liked it and what they thought of the game and what's that sort of stuff. From what I gathered, Horia says he doesn't really like the game. He doesn't want to see Let's Play of it, which is what he said already. And Bernard Tamir was enjoying it, but he does think the videos are a bit too long. And this actually got me thinking about what the purpose about why I make videos, or particularly gaming videos, because I'm trying to sort of figure out how to make them better, and by figuring out how to make them better, I need to see what people are enjoying about them. And from what I've seen, it seems like people like the short, like the one-off videos, with like a single episode of a single game sort of thing. So recently I've been thinking about trying to do a game called Rise. I do think, no, not Rise, Pyre. And I'm thinking that if I did that, it won't be a very good Let's Play, because it's very talky, it's very slow, it will probably take a while. So I thought maybe just doing one episode of it, just to see what people thought. But then I realised that, do I want to do that? Like, I do want to do like single episodes of single games. That's something I'll do in the future, maybe I'll do Pyre in the later few days or not, I don't know yet. But the reasons why I was thinking about this whole thing is like it was all connected to what I was reading with these comments as well, in particular. Where I was saying about that, obviously Horia doesn't want me to play the Let's Play, and Bernard Tamir thinks the episodes are too long. But for me personally, I think that I like that length because I enjoy it more when I'm playing. And in terms of the game, I really enjoy it. Like, this is probably one of the most fun games I've played, Let's Play wise, in a while. So I think in that sense, I really enjoy that. So now when I'm trying to think about why do I make the videos, what am I doing it for? Do I do it to try and get views? Well, no, I'm not trying to do it to get views. I would like more views so we can have a bigger community, but overall, I'm enjoying it myself, so I think that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get that across as well. Obviously, if you don't like the game, then you don't have to watch it, do you? It's that sort of thing. Like, you can gravitate to the games that you want to watch, not you have to watch everything, you're not obliged to, and I'm not going to force you to. So that's what I'm thinking about there, and then I'm also thinking about what is the long-term goal with YouTube. Like, is it that do I meant to make a living from it? Well, I think, no, that's not what I want to do, because A, you're so under the pressure of doing what people want, because then you're trying to get the views and to get the money coming in, and also it's a very fickle place to make your living. So I think for me personally, that's not what I want to do it for. I think I do YouTube for two reasons. One is to have like a community, so we can discuss, we can talk, we can have a look at things going on, and the other one is to have fun. I enjoy doing it. It's what I like doing. It's what I spend all my time doing. So I think that's why I wanted to do it. It's not because I want to make money or be famous. Well, when I say be famous, I suppose, does that count as having a big community as well? Because that's kind of the same thing, but not kind of the same thing. Yeah, but that's the whole thing I've been thinking about this week, is that is a good thing to help me plan out my videos. That what do I want? And that is what I want. Those two things I mentioned. Of course, this also goes over to the couple adventure stuff as well. But yeah, it's nice because it puts things in perspective and to find out why you want to do stuff, rather than, do I want to make it to get views? No, I want to do it to have fun and to have a community that think it's fun as well. So yeah, that's why this is the week's theme, because I feel like it's a very vital part of this whole new sort of making things better, to actually understand what the purpose is of the videos. Right, but goals then. Now then, we shall say that we failed the last one. It was to get the Cupboard Adventure video out before the podcast. I've explained why that's not happened, so sadly it is not. This week's goal is to make sure I get the podcast out on Monday. Should happen. Like I said, there's only going to be about 4 episodes to put out before Monday, which is going to happen. I'm going to do the 2 Dark Chronicle videos now, even though I'm very tired. I'm going to do them now, so they'll be out. And then the Yonder video I'll do tomorrow, and then obviously the Fable for the Sunday, and that should all be up to date, apart from the vlogs and Cupboard Adventure. But yeah, good. Right, that's it then. So last week's What Film, I believe it is We've Got All the Ways to Be Wicked. It is from Descendants 2, which is what I watched last week. And this one is based on what I've seen this week. If the vlogs were out on time, you would have been able to see what that was. But yeah, until then, I will finish a cup of tea actually first. There we go. Yeah, but until the next time we meet, I will say farewell. But I'll leave you with What Film? The racing is the reward, not the stuff.